Oh, it's a country music time machine, taking us back to where the grass is green, with twangs and tales from days gone by. Let's ride those old trails beneath the open sky, in our country music time machine. In our country music time machine.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Country Music Time Machine. This is the Front Porch Podcast, and I'm looking at the front porch right now, and there is the mail lady. Hi, mail lady. How are you? She was like the first guest for the Front Porch Podcast. Can you believe that? Hope everybody's doing good today. That was the drive in to the front porch, as you saw there. I just filmed that not actually long ago because I've been busting my backside cutting grass all day, and that's been incredibly fun. And last minute, I get all this stuff together, and here we are. Hello to you. Wherever you're coming from, you know the deal. There's no cover charge for this show, but I just want you to chime in. Let me know and let everybody else know, especially the new folks. Where are you from? What your name is? Where are you from? How you doing? You know, so chime in. Let me give you a shout out. And while you're getting that stuff in there, and I'll pick it up here in a second, I want to thank the good folks at the Home Depot. They're our partner tonight at the Home Depot. And they're our partner because they've got that great Blink Outdoor 4 camera that I've got all around the Country Music Time Machine headquarters here. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And I'm going to show you my best video clip from the Blink Outdoor 4 camera that you can get at the Home Depot. The best clip of the week came on Easter Sunday. Let me show you that clip. It's cool because it's got my little granddaughter, Vanessa. That is Vanessa and her mom, Allison, there. Sun's getting ready to go down behind the house. That's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Let's go over to the comment section. Let's see where everybody is dialed in from tonight. We've got Michael Murphy, as always. He's saying hi, Kevin, from Newark, Ohio. We have Katie from Parris Island. Katie, are you talking about Parris Island, South Carolina? The home of the devil dogs? That's where they make devil dogs. Isn't that right? Is that Parris Island? Let me know, Katie, if that's South Carolina, South Kakalaki. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got J-Cat. He's saying hello from Oregon. We got DDRR from Wisconsin. Howdy, going out to Jeff Guitars in not old England, the New England. Jeff Guitars. Joshua John, my very own Country Music Time Machine historian who knows so much more than me. He keeps me straight, or he tries to. He can't do it all the time, but he tries to keep me straight, but I still screw up sometimes. Thank you, Joshua John. Also, William May is over in the land of the Tar Heels, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. We got Maria Brown. She's watching from New Jersey. She's always the first one that sort of chimes in and says, Kevin, we're going to be watching you on Saturday. Maria, thank you so much for watching. We got Terry Stevenson. I don't know where Terry Stevenson is dialed in from. Terry, let us know. I'd love to give a shout out to your town or wherever it is you're chimed in from. Rita Harris is up in New Jersey. Here's Steve LeBlanc. He made it live. Thank you, Steve. Stephen, I'm sorry. I already know you so personally. I can just call you by Steve now. But Stephen LeBlanc is in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. So if you're out there and you're tuned in, please chime in. Let me know where you're from. And Katie said, yes, it is. Parris Island, South Carolina, Devil Dogs. The Devil Dogs, the mascot of the U.S. Marine Corps. And let me tell you what, folks. My dad was in the Army, and then he transferred over to the Air Force. But for the past 24 years, up until a few weeks ago, my backside was watched 24/7 by a detachment of Marines at U.S. embassies all over the world. So if you are a U.S. Marine or a former Marine, Semper Fi to you, love you. Thank you for protecting this country. You do it great. Terry says she's in Liberty, New York. It reminds me of an episode I've got coming out on Thursday. And I'm going to tell you about that in a little. I got a different kind of country music time machine episode that I'm going to talk about here on the Front Porch Podcast. I'll tell you about that coming up in just a little bit. But Terry, thank you so much for tuning in from Liberty, New York. Let's go ahead and pull up the country music time machine news update can you see my Coke and peanuts in there? And JCat, I think it is Mexican Coke, even though I bought it down the road here in the middle of Tennessee, because on the label it says refresco, Coca-Cola refresco. That's Spanish for drink, I think, So maybe it's real sugar and not the fake stuff, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's talk about the news, talk about the Country Music Time Machine crew members of the week. A salute to you folks for tuning in and being so active. 4 of the top ones this week. We got Restian Serpentine, who's always on there, viewing, commenting. We thank you, Restian Serpentine. Also, Driver in Jax, Kevin Cousins, and Dalia Shohat. Thank you all so much for tuning in and being part of the crew members of the week. If you want to be there, all you got to do is just watch all the videos, comment and everything. Even if you don't have to be positive, you can be negative if you want to. I like to feature some of the crazy comments here on the Front Porch Podcast. So let's talk about the comments of the week. I'm going to have to move my computer up for this one because I can't see it as large as I'd like to. Let me see what happens when I hit this button. Okay, I can see a little bit better there. This is from my old pal, JCat. Now, JCat, we get along really good, but he pops me on something sometimes. I had a video this week, got thousands of views from 1952, Kitty Wells. It wasn't God who made honky tonk angels. And I mentioned in the 1952 episode that Kitty Wells is the queen of country music. You throw that word around a lot, the queen of country music. And there's lots of queens. You think of Dolly Parton, you think of Reba McEntire. But in a sense, she is the original queen. But JCat brought up a good point. He says Kitty had a great voice, undeniably. She is often overlooked for her contributions to country music and deserves respect as one of female pioneers. But based solely on the lack of hits, I would have to disagree on your true queen analysis. Well, JCat, that's a good point you made there, because she actually only had a couple of number one songs, and Joshua John can talk about this too, but 2 or 3 number one songs. She had a lot of hit songs, but she didn't have like the number one songs that Reba had or Dolly had. So, maybe not. I got Katie. Katie was saying, I've been on embassy duty a couple of times. She says, my daughter is a devil dog as well. She's going to Germany. Oh, cool, Katie. She's going to the U.S. Embassy in Berlin. That's great. Salute to her. You tell her I said thank her for her service. We love her. And Michael Murphy is talking about Mexican Coke has a different sugar. What? I'm not sure, but you can get it at Chipotle. Well, I think I can get it from the Mexican supermarket down the road here in Tennessee. I think it's right down there. So, but I got this at a gas station, and I saw that it's written in Spanish. So everything's written in Spanish. So maybe they're getting some contraband Coke into Middle Tennessee. I'll take that. All right, got another comment up here. Going to make this big so these old eyes can see it. This is About George Strait. By the way, our focus tonight is the one and only Ray Stevens. He's our feature. We're going to do a lot of funny things that will make you laugh tonight, much more than you probably laughed listening to me. So stand by for Ray Stevens coming up. George Strait, I think I triggered every female in the audience when I titled this video, George Strait Can't Give It Away. I got a feeling if George Strait wanted to give it away, he has like millions of female fans out there. And I got a lot of comments on it, and I love this comment. This is from Juanita May Dunn, something like that. I love this song. You can give it to me. I'll help fix your lonely heart. We'll fix your broken heart. Know what it is like. God, I love your voice. Hits me in the heart every time. I know I've always loved you since in my teens. Now I'm 75. Still love you. Always will love you. A very sweet man. I can't get enough of your voice. And you love this song. Oh, wow. She is just eating up George Strait there. Yeah, that's a great George Strait song. More comments from Country Music Drinking Songs round 3. Frankie Smith says, definitely not a country song, even if it's about a bar. It is a piece of, I'll let y'all say that, what it is on the screen. This, my grandchild may be watching this, not want to teach her those bad words. He is referring to Shaboozey and the bar song. I believe that was in Country Music Drinking Songs round 3. It's like my buddy Dennis over at 104.1 The Ranch here in Middle Tennessee said, Kevin, the Shaboozey song is like the song Don't Mess With My Toot Toot. And that's why he says he plays it on his radio station. I don't know if that makes it country, but anyway, not everybody is in love with Shaboozey. All right, another comment. I made a comment on this song, moving on over from Hank Williams. Played this little video clip a couple of days ago. And this fella comments, Bill Haley has entered the chat. Yeah, Bill Haley really historically is recognized as having the first rock and roll song. Rock Around the Clock, I guess, is the first recognized rock and roll song. But I heard Hank Williams Jr. talking about moving on over one time, and because it came out when it did, some folks think that was a rock-sounding song. Honky-tonk rock. Maybe not. Sad news, we had found out this week, a country music legend, dead at 78, Lulu Roman. How many do you remember watching Lulu on Hee Haw? That was a great show. They don't make them like that anymore. They probably couldn't. It's too politically correct, this world today. So Lulu was one of the funny reasons. Lulu and Junior Samples and all those other ones. But Lulu passed away at 78 years old this week. All right. Let's talk about Jelly Bean. No, that's not Jelly Bean. That's Jelly Roll. Jelly Bean, I think, was in Hee Haw as well. This is Jelly Roll. And Jelly Roll commented this, or actually, the Nashville Sheriff Darren Hall commented this. A year ago, I wrote Governor Bill Lee asking for a full pardon for Jason Jelly Roll DeFord. Today, the board unanimously recommended his pardon. It's now in the hands of the governor. That was from Nashville Sheriff Darren Hall. What do you guys think about that? Should they pardon Jelly Roll? I think he committed 40 crimes or got at least busted 40 times or something like that. I don't know, maybe he's good enough good for people that he should be pardoned. I don't know. That's beyond my pay grade, as we say in U.S. government work. Also, legendary country music singer returning nearly a year away due to health. That is, of course, Tim McGraw. And Tim had some knee problems, had knee surgeries. He was going to be in a new show on Netflix, and he had to pull out of that. But he's going to be actually coming back quicker, I think. Sometime this summer, he's going to be doing a couple of shows, and that's great for Tim McGraw. I'm glad he is. Congrats, Tim. Glad you're back. Now, some new news, and the ACM Awards is coming up. They've already announced who their new male artist of the year is and their new female artist of the year. The new male artist of the year is Zach Top. That's cool. They're doing this because Beyonce is probably going to win Country Album of the Year and probably Country Female of the Year. So maybe they're trying to get on our good side by telling us Zach Top, who does sing country music, is being named the ACM New Male Artist of the Year. Well, congratulations, Zach. You deserve it. Keep it going, brother. We need you so much. But the good news continues. ACM New Female Artist of the Year, Ella Langley, another young lady who is singing country music. Good deal. I'm excited and happy about that. All right. We do have Ray Stevens coming up, and I'm going to check your comment section, see just a second if we've got anything new coming in here on the Front Porch Podcast. But I want you to tune in on Thursday. I'm going to be doing a special episode about country music stars in TV commercials. A bunch of them came out in the 90s. Some you may not even remember. Some came out in the 80s. You see Mel Tillis there. You see Toby Keith. Of course, you see George Strait. The ladies are salivating just because I put George Strait on the screen. But yeah, I've got some good stuff coming up. And there's Garth Brooks in that one. It's a McDonald's commercial. Watch out for that. It's coming out on Thursday. And that's all for the news update on the Country Music Time Machine. Let's check out the comment section. Got Joshua John. Joshua said Kitty Wells had 2 number 1 hits. So I guess I guessed it right. 14 top 10 hits, 65 singles from 52 to 79 on the Billboard Country Chart. And she had the very first number 1 single from a solo female artist. That is cool. Got Michael Murphy saying, hee-haw, awesome show with Buck Owens, Roy Clark. Best thing was the girls popping up out of the cornfield. Yeah. I'm not going to go on anywhere on that one. Corey is tuned in. He says, hello. I know I'm late. Was in the middle of packing my second load for the new company. Corey is driving those 18-wheel trucks all over the place. And Corey does try to tune in when he can. Corey, we love you. Thank you so much for tuning into us. I do appreciate it so much. And thank y'all for all your comments. Let me go back there to anything else. And what Corey says, watching from the ice cream capital of the world, Lamar's, Iowa. Wow, I didn't know that was the ice cream capital of the world. Lamar's, Iowa. I know where to go to get some good ice cream, I guess, is Lamar's, Iowa. All right, let's take that off the screen. You get to see me, and someone is stealing my truck. Oh, my gosh. Oh, they're going to Sonic, you know. It's actually perfect timing because we're getting ready to talk about Ray Stevens. I don't know if I can do this or not. My daughter Gracie, who's the host of the Pop Music Time Machine, is driving away in my Ford pickup truck. It's a Ford Maverick, but it's hybrid. It doesn't suck a lot of gas. So before we start the Ray Stevens special, let's get a Toyota commercial from Ray Stevens.
You know, Toyota trucks and I have a lot in common. That's why your Middle Tennessee Toyota dealers want me to tell you about their great selection. Like me, Toyota trucks are terrific performers, hard and strong. 4x2s, 4x4s, take your pick, because incentives to dealers on selected trucks and cargo vans could save you big bucks. Yeah, Toyota trucks and I have a lot in common. We're tough, good looking.
Hi, Ray.
And real easy to start.
All right. That's a good job. I love Ray Stevens. Actually, I got to tell you this story because it's a good story. I was cutting grass today, and I was on my Troy-built riding lawnmower, and I had my earphones in my ears. I was jamming to Ray Stevens' greatest hits, getting ready for this Front Porch Podcast episode, and I lower the blade, and the belt just goes off into outer space somewhere, quit working. So I had to spend the next 3 to 4 hours walking, cutting my lawn. So I don't know. Troy built maybe a great riding lawnmower, but right now I want to take that Troy built, maybe it was built in Troy, and dump it into a creek in Tennessee, because I really had to rush to cut that grass because I had to be on the air tonight. I made it, and it also interrupted my great Ray Stevens jam sessions there, So let's talk about Ray Stevens. Ray was not born Ray Stevens. He was born Harold Ray Ragsdale, January 24th, 1939, in Clarksdale, Georgia. Let's see if we got any good comments over here. Katie says Top Gun 3 is in the works. Cool. Maybe Ray Stevens will be an actor in Top Gun 3. That's cool. The Mississippi Squirrel Revival, William May, that's one of his favorites. The Streak, Jeff's Guitars talking about The Streak. So many of them. I think my favorite one is probably Shriners Convention, or possibly Sitting Up with the Dead, or Sitting Up with the Dead, because that's just so funny. But Ray was born in Clarkdale, Georgia, and once again, so many of these country legends are born in tiny towns. Population 2,135, and that is actually, I think, the latest population of Clarkdale, Georgia. Age 7, Ray started playing piano, and from that point on, music was a major, major part of his life. Let's bring up an interview where Ray is talking about being a musician.
What inspired you to be a musician?
I don't know if it was inspiration, but I wanted to be in the music business because I love music so much, and it's what I've always thought of myself as, a musician. And at one time when I was younger, I thought, well, maybe I'll be an architect, and I almost went to Georgia Tech. I was living in Atlanta at the time, but when push came to shove, I decided, nah, I think I'll just go to Georgia State and study music. So that's what I did.
Georgia State. He studied music at Georgia State. Strangely enough, my daughter Gracie, who's the host of the Pop Music Time Machine, is studying journalism at Georgia State. Sorry, Vanderbilt. Sorry, Middle Tennessee State University. Sorry, University of Tennessee. She decided to go to Georgia State, following in Ray Stevens' footsteps. And she can be funny sometimes too. So let's continue on our fun with Ray Stevens. He'll make you laugh. 1957, while still in high school, he headed up the road to Nashville and recorded a song called Silver Bracelet. But the fun started in 1961 when old Ray, you have to get ready when you even say this song title, because I don't know if it's the longest song title in country music history. I'm sure Joshua John would probably know that, but 1961, he released a song called Jeremiah Peabody's Polyunsaturated, Quick Dissolving, Fast Acting, Pleasant Tasting Green and Purple Pills, which reached 35 on the pop charts. So it started then. But the key that folks need to remember is Ray is not just a funny guy. Ray Stevens is an off-the-chart, incredible musician and composer. I've spoken to many country stars, from Merle Haggard to Johnny Paycheck, Travis Tritt, so many of them. And quite a few of them have mentioned, when I've asked them, just not on the air, not in front of a microphone, what do you think of who are some of the best musicians in Nashville? Quite often mentioned is Ray Stevens. Michael Murphy says best song and video from Ray Stevens is the Mississippi Squirrel Revival. Could very well be. I still like Waking, with the Dead. That's still my favorite one. Anyway, let's rock and roll on. His next big hit came to the top 10 of the pop charts in 69. It was called Guitar Zan. Y'all remember Guitar Zan? That was a great song. And I remember it because I played it on the radio quite a few times over the years. But to show his true talent, in 1970, Ray did something that nobody expected. And I think this was like almost the transformation for him to start going into the more country music scene. In 1970, in a basement at a piano, he wrote his first number one hit, and that was Everything Is Beautiful. What an amazing song. That song, if you've never heard it, I mean, most of you have if you love Ray Stevens, but if you never heard it, you should tune it in because it is an incredible song. He wrote that in his basement, and it became a number one hit, and it was incredible. But we all know he went wild crazy in 1974 with the worldwide number one hit, The Streak. His bills were paid for forever because of that one great song. Now, let's bring up a clip where Ray talks about how it came together that he got the streak.
I was flying back from L.A. to Nashville, read an article in Newsweek, and they have little blurbs in the back, or they did back then. And one of those little short columns was about a UCLA student who took off his clothes and ran through a crowd, and they called it streaking. Well, I thought, well, there's a good idea for a song. And so I started writing it on the plane, and I got home and I finished it up, and I booked the session immediately when I got home. And I was still writing the song when I was in the studio recording it. And made the record and got it out as soon as possible, but the idea was so hot that I couldn't get my record out in time to beat 12 other recordings that were already out. And I thought, well, who knows what's going to happen here? But mine was the one that made it. So
turned out okay.
It turned out all right, yeah.
It turned out incredibly great what Ray Stevens did with that song, and that just launched his career into the stratosphere, because from that point on, we got to know Ray as the funny guy, the funny man that we like to listen to, that just got us cut up. And he was so talented with getting the words that related with people in the country. And when you can do that and make it funny, you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to have a lot of fans. I mean, sadly, in today's world, could there be really a Ray Stevens to make it big? Comedy is an endangered art in some senses, because in some ways you can't say anything without offending someone, you know? So Ray came in at the perfect time, and he brought us that comedy, and he brought us just so many humorous things. But it wasn't only music. He's a great stand-up comedian. He's a great actor as well. Now, I'm going to bring you a clip now. This is from the Bobby Bones show. This is an interview with Ray. I think it's backstage at CMA Awards show. And he's asking Ray about being funny.
I know you're in.
Well, he's in, and he was in with The Streak and kept making good stuff. One of my favorites, 1980, Shriners Convention. Remember going to, I think it was Christmas parades or something, and people in Conway and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, playing that song. The Shriners were playing as they were riding their miniature bicycles or something. It was funny. I enjoyed it. 1985, as already mentioned one time on the comment section, Mississippi Squirrel Revival. Other folks are saying Guitar Zan, Ahab the Arab. Yeah, you couldn't do Ahab the Arab today. I think that he would be canceled for that. Or, as William May says, check out Bridget the Midget. Yeah, you can't. You can't do that one either, there, William. Corey's chiming in and saying my favorites from Ray are Southern Air and the Haircut Song. That's right. The Haircut song's good as well. And DDRR, don't look, Ethel. Boy, I wish I could do it as good as Ray. But yes, Ray Stevens is a genius. 1991, Sitting Up with the Dead. Maybe my favorite one. But he made a lot of good songs, and he remade them, I think, in the 80s and 90s for music videos, and we could enjoy them again. But Ray was also good at stand-up. He's got a lot of good stand-up clips, and I played a few on the Country Music Time Machine before. I'm going to play one now. If you haven't seen this one, it's a good, funny one about something I've gone through, a divorce.
This retired guy in Florida calls his son in Chicago and he says, I'm divorcing your mama. He said, Dad, you can't do that. You've been married for 50 years. He said, I don't care. I've had it. And the son says, well, Dad, Sally and I will come down there. And please, don't do anything till we get there. And the old man said, well, okay. And he hung up the phone. He turned to his wife. He said, good news, honey. The kids are coming for Christmas and we don't have to buy the tickets.
Well, I'm not married, so I can't use that excuse. I've already bought tacos today, and I haven't even eaten them yet. I got cold tacos, and they're waiting for me. Funny one from Ray. And he also did a lot of funny skits that just showed his natural talent, ad-lib acting ability. This one's not ad-lib. It was pre-recorded. But do you remember this one? Here's Ray Stevens with Duck-a-phone.
He has been acclaimed the world over as the master of the duck-a-phone. Now, for the first time in this country, Eider Down makes his debut in this beautiful double album set of the world's greatest duck-a-phone hits. Thrilled to the haunting strains of You Are the Web Between My Toes, What'll I Do? Rubber Ducky, Come Fly With Me, Down Yonder. Yes, all your duck-a-phone hits are played by the duck-a-phone master himself, Mr. Eider Down. And now, you can have these classic hits for only $29.95, plus just $350 shipping and handling. And remember, not only are these songs beautiful to listen to, but ducks can't resist them. Just sit there and play these in the blind and bag your limit in no time at all.
You, sir, are despicable. Give me that.
That's good stuff. You know, I don't have ducks out here, but I do have Canadian geese. That's right. The illegal immigrants of the Canadian geese. They were out here this morning just chilling out in the yard for an extended period of time. Let's keep on getting funny with Ray Stevens. Here's another one. I'm sure you're going to love this. This one or the next one is my favorite because the one after this one has a lady in it that I've had a crush on for many years. So, that's a hint. It's coming up. It's not Shania Twain, even though I did have a crush on her as well. But I'll tell you that coming up. But this is a super funny skit. Ray Stevens, The Interrogation.
You could never make me talk. I would never tell you where they're hiding. You could torture me, my lips are sealed. You could put bamboo slivers at my fingernails. You could put cigarettes out all over my body. I would never tell you where there's hiding. I'm impervious to pain. There's a couple upstairs in the bathroom behind the curtain. Check the closet over there. Couple out in the tongues from the cow. Clam door. There's one under the bed upstairs. Don't forget about that. There's two out in the doghouse. There's a little bitty guy in the birdhouse. There's two on the front lawn.
Hold it. You're going too fast.
You're not going to hit me with that glove again, are you? One over there, one over there. One up there. There's one in here.
Oh, I love that skit. And I actually have some here. I've got two in the back bedroom playing the Xbox. I've got one on the back porch smoking a cigarette. So, just in case you need to find them. Good stuff. Let's pop another one up here. Another great one. This is Ray Stevens with one of my big crushes, Sylvia.
Community Access Television, Channel 196, presents a musical cooking show.
See, what is it?
Hot Stuff.
Oh, yeah. Pound of chocolate. We got that.
Some butter, please.
Yep, there it is. Marshmallow filling.
Well, just a squeeze.
It's delicious.
And it's nutritious. We're making cookies. Mix up a dozen.
Or two or three.
I'll lick the beaters. Oh.
Bowls for me.
Say, what's the matter?
Well, looks like we're gonna need more batter.
For making cookies. Okay. Picture a room full of chocolate.
Cherries, nuts,
and cream.
I think the ovens are ready.
We do make a lovely tea.
Let's make some brownies.
Some butter crunch.
Some snickerdoodle.
Let's make a bunch.
The mood is so right.
Let's spend the whole night
making
cookies.
Well, you can really see their chemistry there. I don't think I would have probably fainted, if I was singing "Making Cookies," which those of us who have been around long enough know the play on the song is. But they have great chemistry. That was a great skit, and they did a great job and had a lot of fun. You could tell it. It wasn't a made up deal. They were just enjoying themselves. All right, 1991, Ray Stevens brought the fun to the people, and so many people are glad he did. He opened up a great place in Branson, Missouri, the Ray Stevens Theater, and he entertained millions and millions through that theater. Let's bring up a little clip about it. Doesn't exist anymore, but when Ray had his theater in Branson.
London, Paris, Rome, Hong Kong, Sydney, New York, Chicago, LA, Las Vegas, Toadsuck, Arkansas, and hey, Hyra, Georgia.
He's everywhere! He's everywhere!
Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Stevens!
I was on the road a lot of the time in those days. This was late 80s. And my show, I thought needed more production than I was able to travel with. And so I wanted to locate somewhere where I could be every night and the people could come to me. Well, it makes sense to locate in a place where the people are going to come anyway. So you don't have to draw them all by yourself. And I was in Pigeon Forge looking for a property over there when a friend of mine called me and said, "You ought to do it in Branson." And I said, "Okay, I'll come over there." And I came over. I had worked Branson before, and I was familiar with it. But I came over, and I said, "Okay, let's do it." And built the theater and opened. I did my first show in 91, 92, 93, I was here.
Oh, yeah. It was a great show in Branson there. But, eventually that show closed. And in 2018, just up the road in Nashville, Ray opened up a place called Ray Stevens Cabaret Showroom. It was a great show, and it's still going on. There was worry last year that it was going to close and going to be closed forever. But that is not the case. The Ray Stevens Cabaret Showroom is going to be opening back up. I think, if my memory serves me correctly, May 17th, Ray is going to be there. I think that's a Saturday night. He's not as young as he used to be, so he can't do shows every single night. But you need to go check out the Ray Stevens Cabaret Theater, especially if you're in the Nashville area. And here's a little promo talking about that.
This is Ray Stevens, inviting you to check out my cabaret website. Take your time and look around and find out all about my new showroom here in Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee. Check out the menu, the showroom, the bar, our special cabaret wines, and the gift shop. Everything you need to know about my cabaret showroom is here on my cabaret website.
And folks, let me tell you this. I have, I think one memory I have of being with legendary country stars is Conway Twitty. I remember I interviewed Conway Twitty backstage, and I think within not very long period of time, he passed away. We hope Ray will be with us forever, but Ray is not as young as he used to be. So if you are in the Nashville area or you're coming to the Nashville area, go to that website and check it out. You need to see Ray Stevens, and you can't regret not seeing him one day. So make sure you do, because Ray is a legend, and he's still making people laugh like crazy. And finally, thankfully, Ray Stevens was rightfully and finally inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2019. Decades of entertaining, decades of making us laugh, decades of having fun. Ray did it for us. And if you've never heard his Hall of Fame speech, it wasn't a long one, but it was very touching.
Well, this is without a doubt the greatest honor that anybody could ever receive, not only in Nashville, but in any place in the world. This is greatest music business honor, I should say. And it's almost too much to take in, to tell you the truth, to be recognized as being worthy of joining this group of folks who are already members of the Hall of Fame, who I have admired many years. I'm sure I'll have a lot more to say as time goes by and this sinks in. But right now, I'm going to be kind of short of words. Let me just say, though, thank you to the CMA and to my family and my staff and my publicist, Don Grubbs, and Buddy Cab, my best buddy there, and most of all the country music fans around the world. Thank you.
And we thank you, Ray Stevens, for what you've done for us, because especially, and he's got some new material coming out very soon as well, especially in the world we live in today, where there's so much fighting, there's so much politics, so much arguing back and forth. We need more Ray Stevens. We need more laughing. We need more coming together to enjoy things. And Ray has been doing it for decades. And that's why he is a country music gem. And that's why we love Ray Stevens. And that's why Ray Stevens is a legend. Well, that's all I got for the Country Music Time Machine and the Front Porch Podcast tonight. Thanks to Home Depot, the Home Depot, for sponsoring us, and that Blink Outdoor 4 camera, as my truck has returned. I'm glad my truck's back. The Blink Outdoor 4 camera, you can get it at the Home Depot, other places too. But just a reminder, if you do get it at the Home Depot, follow a link or anything through this show, I'll get a tiny bit of money and help me feed the Canadian geese that are flying over my head right now. But thanks to the Home Depot for taking part with us, and thanks to you all for tuning in. You're the reason I do this. You're the reason I have so much fun. Love you guys. God bless you all. And you know, I always say, let's keep it country. But to close us out on this tribute to Ray Stevens and this Front Porch Podcast, let's just have Ray Stevens on the piano.
Still works.
Oh, it's a country music time machine, taking us back to where the grass is green, with twangs and tales from days gone by. Let's ride those old trails neath the open sky, in our country music time machine, in our country music time machine.